Alright, welcome back. I see you've returned.
Thank you.
It's much appreciated, but also, why would you do that? You must actually like us, and if you actually like us, then you'd probably hit that like and subscribe button.
This guy's gonna get me. You gotta give me.
I gave up. I gave up. That's a whale lord. That's not a whale lord. That's a wyman. Or whatever the fuck they're called. What are the basic forms? It's like a wyman or something. I don't know. I know it's not a whale lord. That's the evolved form.
Okay, I avoided everything.
Jesus Christ. Very important. Yeah, okay. So here's what I wanted to talk about. You know they're making a live action Avatar The Last Airbender?
Yes, for Netflix.
Did you know it's gonna be literally Dragon Ball Evolution, but with fucking Avatar characters?
Huh?
So it's gonna be set in modern times, and he's a school student.
Hold up.
Yep.
No.
Yes. This is what they're doing. Avatar The Last Airbender is going to be... Aang is going to be a school student who goes to school in high school with Sokka and Katara as classmates, and Zuko also as a classmate. And they all go to the same school. And they all find out they have supernatural powers that no one else has.
This would explain that I didn't even read the article. But if this is something that they're thinking, that would explain why I saw something that I was just like, why the fuck are they talking about Dragon Ball Evolution again?
It's literally the same exact setup as Dragon Ball Evolution.
Oh, I can't wait for Noah to watch this.
Let's make Goku, but we'll put him in a high school and we'll give him superpowers that no one else has, and then
they don't have to fight aliens.
And the worst part is it works better for fucking Dragon Ball than it would for Avatar, and it doesn't work for Dragon Ball.
Yep.
It doesn't work at all.
Yeah, I don't understand that, man.
Like, because at least in Dragon Ball, you could then work your way into it, because you could be like, oh, he's going to school, and he's a typical high school student in modern times, but really he's an alien that came here, and blah, blah, blah. You can just fuck all that shit later into the plot. You can fuck all it into the plot later. You can't fuck all the Avatar storyline into a plot that he's a rebirth reincarnation of a fucking deity that controls all elements that no one on this planet controls.
Except for the people who have that ability as well.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
What about the Fire Nation attacking?
There's no Fire Nation. There's no Water Tribes. There's no fucking breakup. It's literally just modern day America. And these kids just happen to have the power to bend elements.
It's gonna be terrible, Chris.
And it's all like to learn about an ancient power. I think what really gets me is Zuko, because they're still having Zuko, and I'm just like, how the fuck are you gonna use Zuko? Like, his whole point is to gain ardor for his family. Like,
unless he comes from a rich family.
There's no family line, or people, or country to.
I can't wait to watch it to watch how much I hate it.
It's gonna do. I mean, it's gonna do poorly, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because it's on Netflix. It's not being released in like a theater. If it was being released in the theaters, this would never happen. Because, like, it would bomb and they'd lose a shit ton of money off of it.
Yeah, how do I phrase this?
Because it's happening on Netflix, no one cares.
There's a lot of Netflix original shows that are like, this is really dumb.
No, literally 90% of Netflix original shows are
absolute
garbage. No, I wanted to give a specific number to your statement, because they are horrible.
Yeah, but there are a couple that are like, these are like gems. But because they're Netflix shows, and like, Netflix, Hulu, all these like shows that make one or two series in a show.
It's bankrupt. It's bankrolled per month subscribers.
Yes.
So like they can just make whatever, and if it fails, who cares? It's just more shit for people to watch. Like they don't care. They're like, literally 2 people could watch this. Whatever. That's 2 people watching it. Who cares? We got our money no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to make anything good. We just need to make things. Like, that's
it needs to be passing quality.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, it is kind of the biggest joke in the world? I just remember when they first made that announcement because they're like, oh, they're going to make a live-action Avatar, The Last Airbender, and I was just like, yeah, because that's gone so great for Dragon Ball, Ghost in the Shell.
So it's water that is strong, is resistant against steel.
Oh, that's good to know.
I don't know why it's resistant against steel, but...
Well, I mean, what can steel really do to water? It sinks.
You're right.
It sinks. There you go, I nailed it. I already figured
You're
it out.
right.
But, like, seriously, though, it's like Dragon Ball, failure. Ghost in the Shell, also a failure.
And I like Ghost in the Shell. But not that one.
No. Netflix themselves did a live-action Death Note, and that's horrible.
Yeah.
That is the worst fucking anime adaptation I think I've ever seen, and I watched Super 3 times. I mean, and I watched Evolution 3 times.
Yeah, how about that?
Fucking, I mean, fucking Avatar: The Last Airbender already had a live-action movie, and it was bad. They already tried this, and it was bad. What are they thinking? Never did the day come where I would be like, yeah, you know, the M. Night Shyamalan live-action reboot? Like, it's bad, but at least it's not the other live-action reboot. Never did I think this would happen.
Yeah, that's, I think, the weirdest part. It's gonna be another live-action that...
Like... See, the M. Night Shyamalan movie was bad because of just really poor setup. And, like, budget cuts. Because they do, like, the one where they, like, we gotta save these earthbenders, and it's, like, in the anime, they go to, like, a big metal building out in the middle of the ocean where they can't earthbend because there's no others. But in fucking in the live-action one, they're in a fucking rock quarry with giant mountains all around
and they're
them.
told not to bend.
And they just don't. And
I don't understand that, man.
Literally, I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
I really don't understand it.
And it's so bad. I watched that movie 3 times in a row one day. I'm like not even kidding. 3 times
on,
in a row.
Right?
And every time because it was on, and like every time I watched it, I noticed something else stupid that I didn't notice the first time. Like 3 viewings in a row, and I'm like, this is awful.
That's my favorite part about rewatching really bad shit. Is like you can watch it once and be like, okay, that was meh, and then you can watch it again and be like,
yeah,
okay.
Like, most of that movie isn't even that bad. It's just incredibly stupid. Like, just, like, uninspiringly stupid.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite scene in the whole movie is there's a scene where they're in the rock quarry again, right? That's, like, the worst part of the entire movie. That's where all the dumb shit happens in that movie. But they're inside this rock quarry, right? And fucking, like, they finally are like, now we're gonna earthbend and overthrow these people because for some reason they needed encouragement to do that.
Yeah, an encouraging speech.
Fuck
God.
it. But they literally, you see a group of 5 people stomp around, do a whole song and dance, and then just one rock fucking slowly floats across the screen, and then a 6th dude punches that rock, and then it's the attack. So, and I'm like, why the fuck?
Chris, the reason that happened like that is to show you why the fuck the Earth Kingdom was losing so bad.
Yeah, apparently the reason they lost so horribly is because the Earth Kingdom requires 6 people to throw 1 rock
to dance to do all that.
It just kills me because it's this whole fucking like 30-second martial arts fucking choreographed motion, and then you just see this one fucking rock float across the screen slowly.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
The funniest shit in the world to me.
Oh, it's so bad. I love it so much though.
Like the live action Avatar movie is one of those movies that it almost falls into the category of so bad it's good.
Yes.
Because it's so bad and so poorly thought out and so just like haphazardly thrown together that it's almost comical in the shit that they do, and it's...
And remember, Chris, it's not Avatar Aang, it's Avatar
Oh my god, Aang. That's like honestly, that's the most annoying part about it. If they just called him Aang, it would have been fine. Like, that movie would have been at least tolerable. But it's the fact that, like, all the characters' names are pronounced wrong. Like, I think Sokka is pronounced as, like, Sokka.
Sokka.
Yeah, and I'm like, why would you do this?
Would you talk about this guy's nose?
There isn't one.
Yeah, he looks really weird.
He does look weird.
But no, it is the greatest thing ever, and I don't see what your problem is.
It is an absolutely hilarious movie. My only thing with it is I remember I was talking to people about it, and they were just like, well, what would you do for a sequel if you, like, well, how would you fix it if you did a sequel? I'm like, you can't make a sequel. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, he cut out the Kyoshi Warriors, and that's the entire point of Book 2, is how they sneak into the Earth Kingdom using the Kyoshi Warriors as a disguise.
And they're like episode like 3 or 4 if my memory serves right.
No, originally, apparently, if you, the director's commentary for that movie, don't ask me why I know all this, he literally states that he made so many scenes with the Kyoshi Warriors in it that the movie was starting to become more about the Kyoshi Warriors than the actual show, so he cut all of them. All of them. And I'm just like, but now you can't make a sequel because you cut the core point of why they take over in the second book.
Is there's a scene where they only show you like vague outlines of the Fire Lord throughout pretty much the first 2 books of Avatar.
Yeah.
But they fucking straight up show him to you in the first like 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's fine, because the big reveal in that movie wasn't him, it was Princess Azula.
Yeah.
That's how they end that movie, with her reveal. Which, in all fairness, she does way more than he does. He literally just shows up at the last second in Avatar, and then they're just like, by the way, I'm the bad guy.
He's the bad guy,
cool.
But he just looks like a normal dude, and you're like, oh, shit.
It's like, alright, whatever. Good for you, I guess. Azula is more of a takeaway, because, one, she has a bigger fan base.
Of course.
So, like, way easier to get, like, a hype behind that.
Of course.
Like, if you show Fire Lord Ozai, most people are just gonna be like, okay.
Who's this guy?
Who cares? But yeah, fucking, words are eluding me, Derek.
Words are difficult.
Apparently. How do I fucking speak? Yeah, okay. So yeah, like, that all kind of works, but my problem is that they set up Princess Azula for a fucking sequel, and I'm like, you're never getting a sequel for this. You literally can't make a sequel. You cut out the only thing that makes the sequel work. And I was right, they never made another one. Also because it sold horribly.
Flopped.
Yeah, it flopped horribly, but it was critically panned by everyone. But,
it, like, flopped so hard that they hated it.
Even if it did make enough money to warrant a sequel, they would have had to do even more retconning to explain how they snuck in to take over
you see,
Ba
Chris,
Sing Se.
The big drill actually worked.
Yeah, that was literally what I said. I'm like, the only way you could do it is by just making it so they succeeded with the drill, and then have the heroes lose fucking immediately in that movie. And then, where do you even go from there? Because at that point, you cut out him losing Appa, you have to cut out the fucking, the knowledge library under the sand.
Yep.
You have
to... secret library of magic bullshit.
Yeah, like, you have to cut all that out. You have to cut out, them looking for Appa, because they're not in the city long enough to look for him.
And where's Toph?
Yeah, like... See, Toph is fine, because Toph is showed earlier in that season before they go to Ba Sing Se, so you can introduce
Toph's actually she's in there when they go to Ba Sing Se. They go to the library before they go to Ba Sing Se.
Yes. She's not in Ba Sing Se, that's what I'm saying.
No, she's outside of it.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, they can get Toph easy, that's not a problem. Toph is easy. But they can't do anything in Ba Sing Se, because it needs to be taken over way too quickly, you only got 2 hours to do it. So you have to take that over immediately. Honestly, they wouldn't even go to Ba Sing Se. They would probably just hear news reports of Ba Sing Se being overthrown. And that would be the fucking story.
So what I find interesting is...
Yeah.
How do I phrase it? You can tell different stories with different mediums.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
And I'm sure you, for one, can completely agree and probably...
Oh, I understand.
Very much understand.
I understand completely.
Which
There's
is
tons of stuff that I'm just like, I want to make this, but this does not work as a game, or this does not work as a book. Like, this would have to be a TV show, or like, yeah.
So when people say that and they're like, no, that doesn't make sense, it's like, yeah, it really does, though.
It does. You can't cram... I think the best example of it is stuff like video games being adapted into movies, and then everyone's like, these are terrible. I'm like, what do you expect? You're cramming 40 hours of gameplay into a 2-hour-long movie and expecting them to cover everything.
So that's
Good fucking luck with that.
That's also why I think certain when it's not when it's so here's a good example.
Yeah.
And that you'd probably be like, okay, Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
They had originally approached George R. R. Martin to make a movie out of it. And he said, absolutely not.
It's way too long to be a movie.
And they were like, come on, we'll make it a movie. And he said, no, it won't work.
Yeah.
Because he was right. Because the fact that it took probably more than 6 seasons, to be honest with you, to do all that material was the truth.
Here's the thing, right? You can make anything... You can make any story work as a movie, but, like, you can't make it work as a singular movie.
Yeah.
You have to break it up into many movies.
That's why he was... when
and
he
for
heard...
me, personally, at that point, I'm like, why wouldn't you just make it a show?
A TV show.
Yeah, because, like, you have so much to go over.
That's why Game of Thrones initially worked, because they weren't trying to cram all that info into a 3-hour movie.
Yeah, like, still to this day, I think that Harry Potter would have worked better as a TV show than a movie. Because they had to make 9 of them.
I agree.
To cover the entire story. And it's like, they could have just made a fucking TV show and covered all this in more detail, with more time to work with.
Because there are things in the books that are cut out.
Yeah.
Or from the books that are cut out.
They would also, but people probably make the argument that it would be a lot cheaper and have less budget, which is true, but also, like...
Sometimes.
That's how it's gotta be, man. Like, sometimes that's just how it's gotta be.
It's one of those things. It's like, okay.
Fucking, you wanna know what I have the opposite opinion of, though?
What?
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings would not work as a TV show.
They're planning to.
Because it seems really long, because there's so many books and there's so much stuff, until you realize how much absolute nothing garbage is in the books.
Yeah, they cut out a lot from the books.
So much of the books is literally them just sitting around doing jack shit for chapters. And I mean chapters. And it's like, holy shit, who fucking cares? Like, I'm gonna piss off a lot of people who are huge fans. Piss off quite a lot
of the internet.
I have a buddy who's an absolute massive fan of Lord of the Rings, and I was just like, and I told him straight to his face, I was like, the books suck. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, the first third of the first Lord of the Rings book is literally them standing around being like, so when do we go on the adventure? This is the adventure! Ah!
So, what I love about that statement is, I like Lord of the Rings, but it is not the pinnacle of storytelling at all.
No, I'd argue it's really bad. Especially the first book, is really bad. Because the movie is literally... The book... See, in the movie, he comes there with the ring, and then they go on the adventure. In the book, Gandalf shows up, gives them the ring, and then goes, I'll be back in 3 years. And then we literally read through 3 years of them waiting in the village with this fucking ring, and nothing happens. And then Gandalf shows up, and he's like, hey, you ready for that adventure? And I'm just like, why did this fucking need to exist?
Because in the movie, they just kind of go... He's like, you got the ring, time to go.
No, they literally... If they put all the shit that was in the book in the movie, the first 2 hours of that fucking movie would have been them sitting in the village being like, I wonder when the adventure starts!
That hurts, though. That hurts.
Like, it's terrible. It's fucking awful. I don't care what anyone tells you. It's fucking awful. And then most people are going to be like, but it's really good. And I'm like, I bet you've only watched the movie. Because it's not.
Yeah. And here's another one where we're talking about mediums and transitioning things from like one medium to another.
Yeah.
Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it doesn't.
Most of the time it doesn't.
Like when you tried to make The Hobbit into 3 movies.
See, the thing is The Hobbit is one book. Why didn't they do 1 movie per book like they did with the actual Lord of the Ring books? I don't understand the thought... well, actually, I know the thought process. It was money. So they wanted money.
Yeah, but... so that's the thing. Like, The Hobbit could have been probably told in 2 books. Or 2 movies.
Honestly, it probably could have been told in 1 movie, but that's just me being an asshole.
Yeah. So it could honestly have been done in 2 books. Or 2 movies.
Sure.
Because, honestly, the second movie and most of the third movie just felt like... They were stretching for time.
Yeah, that's why I think they could do it. See, that's why I think they could do it in 1 movie, pretty easily. So
like half of the second movie and half of the third movie was them stretching for time, which I'm like, okay, whatever. They can't enter Splakemosh.
Oh no!
It's like they shut it down.
We're in control now.
But yeah, it was I really could have just done without it.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
I hate it. Fight me, internet.
She was born here, so she knows another way in.
Oh, nice.
Do you want to get into the town? How about you show me the way?
Maria's gonna show us the back door entrance. Hell yeah.
But you're my rival, so you'll have to beat me in a battle first. Got it? With pleasure.
I don't have a problem stomping you.
You had a pretty good win streak in the gym challenge, just like me. I'll show you. I'll respect you as my rival. And all that. But I got too much at stake to go around losing now.
That's what you think, but it's not over yet.
You know, I would like them to do that, but I don't think they're ever going to do it.
Do what?
You know how this game has gyms that are, one was the fighting and one was the ghost?
Yes.
One's an ice, one's a rock.
Yep.
I want to see one that is, all the gyms in this game are completely done. All the gyms in this game.
All completely different.
Completely different gyms.
That would take way too much budget for Pokemon Company to even warrant.
Yeah. I would think it would be really cool.
They're a small team that make their games on a shoestring budget and then make an absurd profit off of it because you're an idiot and buy it anyways.
Mm-hmm. Buy all of them. Buy 7 copies of them.
I mean, there's...
And then get the secondhand store where you have to pay $500 for a cartridge now.
Dude, I swear to God, they're only... That's not going to last for long. That only lasted because of the pandemic and nostalgia, but that shit dies out so fast.
Yeah.
People are... Oh, God. Okay, can I take a moment to just...
Yes. Take all the time you want, Chris.
I don't really have time to go into this nonsense because it's super long.
Shit, we're already... minutes in.
I'll vaguely go over it, I guess, which is that retro game collecting is a shit show now. But what gets me is that there's like a whole bunch of people online right now, and it's for a couple of reasons that I'll get into. There's a whole bunch of people online right now who are talking about how bad video game retro collecting is, and it's all because of these couple things, and I'm like, you're so wrong. Yeah. I'm like, that's not why. I'm like, retro game collecting has been a shit show since 2010. And it's just never going to recover at this point.
Oh, yeah.
There is going to be a recovery period for it, but it's not going to happen until society agrees that nerd shit is lame again. Because right now, nerd shit is like money.
Cool.
Yeah, it's money. It's literally money. Like, they can just print Batman's face on whatever they want, and they know they'll sell 1 million of it.
Yeah.
And, like, until that goes away,
which
it's never going to get fixed.
I'd give it about 10 years, you think?
Nah. I'm thinking probably 20. Okay. Maybe 30, even, is possible. The thing is that superheroes are dying out.
Yeah.
But now they're trying to replace superheroes with anime and video games. Because they know it's dying out. So they're trying to get all these deals towards video game storylines and anime so they can ruin those next. Because that's what they want to do. They want to ruin them. To make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time, and then laugh all the way to the bank with it.
I mean, now that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is done...
Yeah, it's dead.
Even though it's still airing, it's done.
It's dead.
Yeah.
It's not done, Derek. It's dead.
I don't know what you're talking about. Phase 4 is so good so far.
Yeah, people have been really enjoying it. They've released 2 movies for it, and both of them bombed.
100%.
Yeah, so it's going fantastic.
I can't even remember what... I remember Scarlet... Black Widow just came out.
Black Widow, but like we don't even know how good it actually did because it was only released on Disney Plus, so we have no idea if it did good or not.
It was released in the movie theater and on Disney Plus, and that messed with the sales numbers.
It did horrible in the movie theaters, and it probably didn't do well on Disney Plus either.
I watched it. It was... If they just removed the Black Widow name on it, it would have been an okay movie, I think.
Nah, I don't think so.
But at the same time, it was meh.
And then they released that one about that Chinese guy.
That's not even out yet.
No, it is out.
It is
Came out fucking weeks ago.
I thought it...
Yeah, it's been out for like weeks now.
I could have swore it was coming out later this month.
Nah, it's already out. If it is coming out later this month, then I really don't understand because there's already a ton of reviews for it. And
people already hate it, and it's just like it hasn't even come out yet, has it?
Yeah, and China already didn't go see it because it was already been released in China.
I guess it might be out already. I just can't remember.
Anyways, we'll pick this up in the next part. I'll get more into this nonsense later. Peace.